Good morning. Welcome. It is 10:01. I'm glad that I tried to get on a couple of minutes early because I was having a couple of technical difficulties that I have fixed. Welcome to February 27th, Friday from O'Fallon, Illinois, Southern Illinois. Welcome, welcome. I would like to ask people to subscribe to the channel. I've noticed that I have people watching. So if you think that what I'm saying is relevant for people in Southern Illinois, please have them check me out and then subscribe. I am also wearing my blue shirt. Blue shirt to me means peace. And I want to talk about for a second political violence. I did a reel about it. And if I can influence you, if you don't agree with what a political person is saying, just ignore them. And if you are a podcaster, just wear blue sometimes and say the same thing. Now, I want to get to what has been going on in Illinois this week. I told you how we were starting the week, and now I'll talk about what happened the rest of the week. Let's talk about what the Governor Pritzker is doing first. So, as I stated on Monday, and it hasn't changed, 56 billion budget proposal. That's 1.6 increase from last year, and the governor's still saying that they want physical discipline, and I don't know if that's possible. And also remember that when they're doing the budget now, they're going to come after President Trump's administration saying that he won't give them money and that they're going to have to do something to make up the difference. So keep that in mind. Also, um, there's a school cell phone ban that they are looking at the legislature trying to pass this year. So it would be a call for bell to bell ban on cell phones in all K 12 public and charter schools to improve the educational environment. So this has been kicked around before, as I've told you. And if you think that that's a good idea, call up the legislature because the legislature, the House of Representatives, and the Senate works for you. So that's what's going on with that. And the next thing is pretty interesting. So the governor signed an executive order to create framework for nuclear energy. And so they want to increase the bandwidth by 2 gigawatts capacity by 2033. And what they're saying is that they want to meet the carbon free energy goals. As you know, in Illinois, they are trying to get rid of coal. They're trying to get rid of natural gas, two things that we were using. Now, why is this important? When you're looking at nuclear power, did you know that Illinois has 11 reactors? And as of 2026, Illinois is the leading producer of nuclear energy in the United States. And as a matter of fact, 54% of the state's total electricity generation comes from that. I honestly did not know that. And to tell you the truth, that would be something great to know. In the fact that we are the leading producer. I actually thought that it was Texas. Now, as you may be aware, maybe not, you can sell electricity to other states. So if we had the capacity, especially since of the reasoning to use it for data centers and new capacity, why aren't we fully utilizing it and making some money from it? That would be a great revenue stream for us because currently California gets power from Canada. Canada has been a broker in selling electricity not only to California, but also to New York. There is an opportunity. So if you are a Republican or even a conservative Democrat, maybe bring that up because if you would increase the capacity, meaning investing in electricity, since we have the capacity, we have new revenue, which would domino effect. Here we go. Taxpayers would have to pay less taxes, and we the more income we generate, the less you need from Illinoisans to pay in taxes. Okay. Also, economic development. Pritzker announced a 380 million expansion of the Abbevie in North Chicago. Okay. So it's some kind of tech lab, and they created 300 jobs. Uh, they also put one in Collinsville. Now, they didn't say how many people that would employ. It would be nice if it was 50-50, so people in Southern Illinois could benefit from it as well, because when you create jobs, that's important for the whole state, and especially for us, since we want to employ people, we want people to have good jobs, etc. Now, the legislature is kicking around because I've uh, pivoted to what the legislature's doing is HB 4140. They want to lower the Illinois legal blood alcohol content from 0.08 to 0.05, which would make Illinois the second state in the U.S. to do so. Uh, if you're interested in that, I'm putting you in the know that you need to voice your opinion to your legislature or Senate member to weigh in on that. If they put it down further, that possibly could mean a drink and a half would put you over the limit. So that's what you have to think about. All right, domestic violence protections. So there's a Senate bill introduced to ensure emergency orders of protection remain active until a final order is officially served, closing a procedure gap. So that's what the legislature is talking about. They're also talking about House Bill 4248, which would require companies to disclose when they use personal data to set individualized prices and allow consumers to opt out. Teacher shortage relief, Senate Bill 2953. It allows retired teachers to work more paid hours as substitute without impacting their pension status. Okay. All right. Housing and stadiums. As you know, the Chicago Bears, Chicago, they are thinking about moving to Indiana. The Indiana legislature has already offered them $1 billion of some kind of credit to build a new stadium. Meanwhile, the legislature, uh, their comeback is they are considering, so it's no bill yet, a 20-year property tax freeze for mega projects like potential new Chicago Bears Stadium, while simultaneously pushing new incentives for affordable housing construction. Okay, so that is their answer. Now, living in this part of Illinois, if the Bears leave, believe it or not, in my opinion, that is going to affect us as well. Why would it affect us? Because if Chicago loses revenue, they're going to have to figure out a way to replace that revenue. Now, here is the issue. And this happened in San Diego, and it also happened in Oakland, that the city councils and the local people there, because the state in California, I don't think really got involved in building stadiums. Look at the lost revenue that you're going to have over a time period. Now, a lot of stadiums, football stadiums, can house the Super Bowls. They can have tons of events. Why? Because they can enclose them into a dome. And that's what they're trying to do with the Chicago Bears Stadium. And the politicians are saying, well, we don't want to have to pay for it. Well, they spend money on a lot of other things that don't generate any revenue. And if you think about it, um, initially, you would think, yeah, it's going to be a new tax on the residents. But I would submit to you, and this is my opinion, it is an investment in the future. It is not putting money towards something where you're not going to see a return on it. And when you do these other programs, okay, you're looking at getting nothing back on it. And I won't get specific because then it's like, oh, well, you're picking on certain people or certain groups. Okay. You have to look at stadiums these days as investments. And if Indiana gets it, they will probably generate over the life of a contract 4, 5, 6, 7 billion dollars, and then there's employment. Now, in this case, uh, people in Chicago could still drive across the state and work there, even though they would probably have to pay taxes in Indiana too. So that would be a reason. So but the point is that the Illinois legislature is not investing in keeping teams in the state of Illinois. Their priorities are totally different. One of them being immigration and not caring who's in the state. So contact your representatives about this issue and weigh in and let them know how you feel about it. So that's the only time I will plug something like that. The Bears are important. Chicago Bears are important for Chicago, and also they're going to lose any property or corporate taxes if that team leaves the city. All right. Now, I wanted to mention again about the energy strategy policy in the state. So, as you are aware, especially since data centers are being put into the mix, and also the power company has been complaining about high usage of power in the state of Illinois. So, meeting surging demand, addressing the massive energy requirements of new data centers and AI infrastructure, right? So, the thought is that they, the state of Illinois, is getting ready to raise your rates again. And here's what they're going to use to do it: meeting energy surging demand, energy independence, maintaining Illinois' status as a net energy exporter as it works toward 100% carbon-free power. Now, energy independence, we're already energy independent. What they are talking about, which I think should be questioned, is they are trying to eliminate coal and natural gas by 2045. And you should be worried about that because the number of people are increasing in Illinois, and every home that's built has a power requirement. Now, as far as the data center goes, we are just looking at whoever develops and maintains that data center has to pay for that power. And they've already said that they are going to um, try to increase capacity, even though doing a study on it and a plan of implementation through a law, those are two different things. Now, quickly, I want to talk about what the Democrats were talking about. They had a debate with the Senate for the Senate of Illinois. As you know, Senator Durbin is retiring. Now, I don't mention names since I'll never interview anybody. So they spent the bulk of their time talking about Trump and what he was uh, that they were going to go in the Senate and fight him specifically. One of them said that they wanted to abolish ICE, and then the other ones were talking about immigration and how when people come into the country, no matter what their status is, they need benefits, etc. Excuse me. That's what the Democratic senators want to implement when they go to Washington. Now, on the Republican side, because currently I don't know who's running for Senate in Illinois on the Republican side. If somebody's running, I've seen no commercials, etc. Okay. So, in contrast, I had to find what the Republicans running for governor were talking about. And so they were talking about bringing income into the state with farming. Did you know that soybeans is a big money maker for Illinois, and corn? We're like the second or third in the country with that. That's when we sell that and we get money, that is income in the state, and nobody ever talks about it on the Democratic side of. And somebody said this during the debate: we need an audit. We don't know where money is, the money coming into the state. We have no idea what that is being used for currently. And that would be the first step of whoever's running for governor as a talking point. And I would talk about that in taxes endlessly, as I've told you, to get the other side and the 2 million who are unaffiliated to maybe think about voting for you. And they also talked about the Republicans running for governor, that they want the coal and natural gas still around because we're trying to meet the demand of consumption that we are projecting is going to happen, because otherwise they're going to pass that on to you Illinoisans in your energy costs. They are going to make those rates go up even higher. And then we're going to be number one again, but it's going to be in paying for power in the state when we have the nuclear power that we are not using. We only use 53% of the capacity for the state currently. And then I talked about the Bear Stadium, and they're treating that move, like I said earlier, of lost revenue for the state and the corporate taxes. Okay, well, that's all the time that I have for today. I won't talk about the national U.S. policy thing because I promised you 15 minutes. I've actually gone about 7 minutes over. So, as usual, have a great weekend. Please subscribe to my channel and also take care of yourself and wear blue. Let's get rid of the political violence in the United States. People should feel free to say whatever they want, especially if they are elected. And the way to win with them is to vote for someone who has your opinion. This is Just Listen, hosted by George Live. Have a great weekend.